Hello everyone, and welcome back to Star Trek Sanctuary, a Star Trek Adventure 2nd Edition game using the rules by Modiphius Entertainment. My name is ELH the Game Master, and joining me are three lovely individuals who'll meet in just a moment. The only thing I have to say is that, as you probably can tell, our Foundry overlay is a little bit different. Once again, somebody got in the designer's ear and updated the GUI once again. So if something breaks, I apologize in advance for that. But other than that, I'm eager to get started because we left off on a two-parter. So we'll start with Tekkno. Tekkno, who are you playing and anything you want to shout out?
Hello, I am Tekkno. I am playing Lieutenant slash Doctor Kiani Tell, a Trill who was very recently joined. Um, and nothing particularly I want to shout out now.
All
All
right,
good.
Arwyn, what do you got going on?
You know,
Oh, wait, hold on. What do you got?
nope, all good. Crack
No,
on.
no, I'm going to go back. What do you got?
I was just going to say, just a shout out to the development team for Star Trek Voyager Across the Unknown because it's all I've been doing for the last 72 hours.
Nice. Same. If I didn't have a thing after this, I would be playing and streaming it tonight.
Mhm.
All right, Arwyn, what do you got going on?
Hey everyone, I'm Arwyn. I am playing the chief engineer of the station, Lieutenant Commander Oberon, who is an Ariolo. And I also want to shout out the developers of Into the Unknown because all of my friends have disappeared and it's allowed me some time to recover from my back injury, which has been great. Um, Also, a little bit of self-promotion. Uh, I wrote an article, speaking of Voyager, on continuing mission that released last week that imagines what a character sheet for one of my favorite background characters on Voyager, Samantha Wildman, would look like. So have a look.
Cool. And give me a link to that, and I'll try to put it in the video description. And then
Sure.
last but not least, Bean, what do you got going on?
I am Bean underscore Goblin VT. I'm playing Commander Shishiro, the Orion commander of the station. I would also like to shout out Star Trek Across the Unknown. Like a abusive partner has abused me multiple times, but I keep going back to it, even though it's corrupted my laugh save and I got to the last section.
Bean's not bitter about it at all. Nope.
I'm
Not at all.
okay. I'm okay.
Oh, Lord. All right, well, let's run the intro video and then we'll get started. And welcome back. If you just missed what has happened, is Tekkno is apparently embracing his persona. We support him very much.
Apparently. Yeah.
No, if you want context, Tekkno did an amazing
Tough.
Voyager opening sort of riff for his playthrough of Across the Unknown with Bean and Uzi. Definitely check it out. And Bean, remember to get me that link too, and I'll also try to put it in the video description. But where we left off last time was you all had made hesitant first contact with the Izion, or the Izion, however you prefer to say it. And you are now on your way to engage in true diplomatic talks with them. But I believe Lieutenant Commander Oberon has a proper opening log for us.
Yes. Okay. Let me get into my Sam the Eagle persona here. Okay. Chief Engineer's Log. 1.3 weeks post-event. Supplemental. Starbase Sanctuary remains in critical condition following its exposure to a phenomenon that has displaced us over 75,000 light-years into a M3 Class 5 red dwarf system in the daughter galaxy of Segway 1. Structural integrity across primary docking rings sections 3 through 7 is holding at 32%. Containment fields are in place while fabrication teams repair the hull plating. Environmental systems are partially restored on all decks. It was necessary to flush the life support manifolds with cooled plasma to burn off duranium contamination from the hull breaches. Air mix is currently stable. Our power levels remain at minimum operational capacity because we are down to 3 functional fusion reactors. The remaining reactors continue to give us problems as their regulators desynchronize and dump heat into the transfer junctions every time they are pushed past a 40% load. I believe the problem is due to a feedback surge that left residual magnetization in the couplings. Morale has been steady, but several of the smaller and less powerful members of my herd have begun to emote spontaneously, wet their faces, and get distracted from their repair duties. Much like an auxiliary IRC tank, I have learned that you must allow them to vent that emotional pressure. Otherwise, they will burst and become useless until repaired or replaced. If only other species had a Regulation 42/15, like the IRC tank that outlined how to deal with their inconvenient behaviors. Speaking of inconvenient, we have been discovered by a less technologically advanced society, inhabiting a nearby Class M moon that are governed by their most popular social influencers. Commander Sashiro is deep in the grasslands on this one, trying to establish friendly relations while not becoming too popular and destabilize their government. Dr. Tell and I have been pulled from our important duties to assist the commander with these negotiations. Personally, I would rather invest time in acquiring raw minerals and chemical compounds from the rest of the astronomical bodies in this system, but I'm never one to look a gift Ariolo in the mouth. Perhaps some good will come from working with the Izions. End log.
Very nice. You may have 1 momentum, and with chat's contributions of threat and momentum, we're sitting at 5 momentum and 8 threat. So good stuff there. Now, one thing I will say is that I want to give you all an opportunity to discuss before you actually arrive above the moon. And you begin docking procedure with the orbital tether, because as far as I remember, you were going to have the meeting on the tether station rather than go down or park or do anything like that. So before we get to that, is there anything you want to do en route? Is there anything you want to scheme? Open floor, what's on your mind?
So I think our approach plan was to try and make ourselves. We even asked the leader of the planet to not make our arrival publicly known yet, so we could try to assess the situation. I think we were getting a bunch of cultural gifts ready, but we didn't want to necessarily here have all of our musical instruments, because that's definitely not going to affect your society in any way, shape, or form. Because normally we don't have to think about handing out Shakespeare, but now we do. But yeah, I think Shishiro's puts some ground rules of trying just to reinforce the Prime Directive and other such things. But besides that, I can't really think of anything to set up before going to this meeting.
All right. Tekkno, Arwyn, anything on your side?
Nope. Just hoping this first contact goes smoothly.
I think having been, I won't say firmly rebuked, but certainly having been reminded not to flaunt technology, even though, it is something that certainly Janeway has done on more than one occasion. I think I'm just going to stay more or less quiet about anything that might be happening or we might have on us. I will probably be carrying, a standard of medical kit in some way, but like other than that, probably like, and that basically to extend to like a medical tricorder and some hyper sprays, like nothing flamboyant or anything.
Got it.
Who knew that Tekkno was secretly a Seska?
Well, it depends on what his attributes are, because you never know. Maybe
We must develop a firm power. We must establish strong relationships and establish a power base in this sector.
Oh, Lord. All right. Well, my next question is a bit of a funny one. Do you listen to the Moon of Our Hearts on your way to the meeting?
Go on, ELH. Chat would argue with us.
We absolutely do.
Would riot. They would be rioting in the chat if we didn't have at least 5 minutes of.
They'd be writing right here if it didn't happen.
Shashir was like, no, don't put it on, and you're just like mutiny.
All right. Well, I did promise. I did look up some classical scripts, so I guess you'll just cut in mid-episode. Now you are going to be the one doing the listening. There are going to be changes around here. We are going to have new rules, and if you disobey, you will be punished. Now I am not a violent man, but you have driven me too far. Now as long as you live in this house, you are going to live by my rules. And from this point on, you are grounded. No car, no visitors, no entertainment, no record playing, nothing culture. You'll be on a strict schedule. School, homework, and housework. Yeah, it's about time you helped your mother around the house. Well, she's never home.
Somehow replicated popcorn and sitting there eating it.
Well, she's never home, says a younger Izion. What did you just be saying? She's never home. How can I be helping her? Well, never mind that. There's plenty for you to be doing around here. And then there's the sound of a phone ringing. Your mother will get it. Or Steven. That's another thing. Any telephone. And then you would see a matronly Izion enter in, and she says, It's Mickey. He wants to talk to you. We'll be telling him I am busy. Tell him Harry Grill will be taking care of this whole thing. And the female says, Ben? No, you heard me. Ben, I told you, I won't have that. I want Mickey to handle this. This is being out of your hands. What did you say? Out of my hands? And she holds up her forearms, kind of hands, palm up. And, Ben, quote unquote, says, Julie has been getting away with murder because you are never here to discipline or guide her. And then this will literally just keep going until you tell me to shut up. I have 500 more lines.
If you go for 100 lines, do we take off a point of threat for every 100 lines? Like, do we get to reduce the threat by having lines being said at us?
I mean, I'm also entirely happy just to sit here on mute and listen to an hour of this.
Me too, yeah. So I'm just a barista, but I took a director's one semester of direction, so I'm going to provide some commentary to this live stream while we're watching it.
I mean, you could. You definitely could. Oh, Lord. But no, credit where credit is due. That is the original 1965 episode 4, Days of Our Lives. So we're talking old school soap opera here.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, the reason I read that out is not just because it was funny, but because your point of contact, Alquak, the Jack Black influencer, as we're calling her, she is playing the part of the matronly wife, as it were. And she's very different from what you encountered in private conversation. And what I mean by that is she is obviously playing a role, but she's doing it well. She's not just a politician that has become an actor or an actor that has become a politician, and there's subtle differences there, but it generally feels like she is a genuine person, what she's doing, whatever it happens to be. So when she's being an actress, she's nailing the roles, she's nailing the drama, etc., etc. And as you at least have seen so far, when she's a politician, she thinks, hey, what can I do to further my people better, kind of a thing. And the longer you watch, the more you get a sense of this is an individual who isn't quite a Mr. Rogers, but is pretty damn close.
So, you saying that has actually inspired me to look up some stuff. Two things I want to look up are just how long has she been in charge of the planet, and when the alien visitors were here last? Because they said that they gave them fusion reactors, which they've been using. Is this a new thing? Is this a long term, like 100 years ago? Just while the other members of the crew are clearly distracted with R&R and watching soap operas.
So my records state, and this might be a slight retcon if I said something different in last session, but my notes say that the Grakons, as they're known, the centaur-like species, the last time they were here at the Izion's moon was 10 years ago.
10 years ago, okay. So not that far ago, but not in the 20-year cycle that this iron storm seems to be kick up, as far as we can tell from the locals.
Correct.
Okay.
I have thought of something I would like to do.
Sure.
And I've run this past the commander. But I want to lock out the entertainment sections or anything culturally, any cultural databases that we have on the ship, just as a precaution more than anything else.
Okay.
Yes. Go ahead, Doctor, if you could do that.
Yep. I'll encrypt them under my own personal codes. So
just while the doctor's doing that, give a quick message around the crew. Just text message, just telling them that while we're here, no unlocking the culture database is locked down until we leave the planet.
All right.
I actually like to do something too.
Sure.
I ask permission if I can do a scan for any Grakon or other alien technology.
Yes, do a
Federation-related technology.
Yeah, do a full spectrum scan of the planet. Since they've already spotted us, we might as well be nosy.
Very good, sir.
All right. No roll required because you're at 5 momentum, and even if you complicate, it would just give me threat, so we're just going to say no roll required. What you notice is, once again, they of course have orbital stations, orbital tethers, fusion reactors. They don't have warp drive yet. They're working on it. You do see that they are working on a very important step towards warp drive, which is grav plating. At least in the Star Trek universe, grav plating is like the thing you do right before you get to warp travel. So they're working on grav plating. And they also have, as was mentioned by Alquak last time, they have completely digitized their form of voting. And that's important because they have compulsory voting on everything. And that might seem odd to us in the real world where, we go out every year, every 2 years, every month, however you do it in your part of the world. But here, as far as you're able to tell, these votes are not just on media. These are not just, I really want to smash that like button. It's not just that. It's like little policy changes to say, hey, maybe we should institute this rule on this streaming service kind of a thing. And as far as you can tell,
watch it on Poop.
Yeah, exactly. But it's one of those things where it is so ingrained into their culture that even if you monitor a live broadcast, let's say of the news, for example, if you notice them broadcasting news, you will see that they stop the newscast to cut away to a graphic to say, remember everybody, please vote. And then they literally in real time show the results coming in. So they have a very robust information network on the moon.
There are
Goodness, how do
two
they get
ways I
anything done?
imagine this. Sorry, go on, Arwyn.
I was just saying, how do they get anything done?
Well, I imagine they get quite a bit done. I mean, if
They're
everyone
always
has
voting
to vote, huh? Well, yeah, but they're always voting, so
on
presumably
everything.
presumably things must get done. The system clearly works. They're steps away from warp travel.
Yeah, well,
Admittedly,
voting
with some outside help, it seems, but even so.
Yes. So speaking of which, was there in that list of technology, was there any, you gave me their level of technology. I'm curious about if all their technology is natively developed or if there is some outside influences, like for example, the Grakons, like if there's any evidence of shared technology.
Right. I would say the fusion reactors are definitely not native to the planet, or at least they use materials that are coming from off-world. The tethers, those are native. The stations, those are native. So it really just looks like the Grakons came along and said, hey, here's fusion reactors.
Okay.
So yes, well, whenever they vote on a policy, I presume once it's been put into place, they can't just vote for it to go away. So everything is delayed for a vote to happen, but once the vote's gone through, they then take a course of action.
It sounds chaotic.
Yes, it's very
I
chaotic.
mean, no
but
argument there.
the entirety of the galaxy is chaotic. Is whatever order we put onto it is how it's shaped.
And how do we know that these are clearly emotional people from we can see from their media? So how do they know? Like it's like coming up with resolutions in the spur of the moment that are just at a few click strokes, and policy is dictated by the whims of the moment.
It
It
is.
seems dangerous.
But then having somebody detect every single thing from the ground up is also dangerous as well. So no which way we look at it, it's anything could be dangerous.
I mean, as I say, it clearly works for them. Whether we agree with it is it's neither here nor there. You know, it's not really any of our business. But I agree. It doesn't seem like the ideal way to run a civilization.
I am certainly not advocating that we put our values on them. I am simply commenting on a novel voting system and system of government of which I have never seen. And I think there is a reason that we have a representative democracy.
I mean, arguably, so do they. It's just very representative.
They have a direct democracy. They do not have a representative.
No, yes, no, you're right. Okay, I won't split hairs on the subject because I don't want to. I've locked out the cultural database anyway, so we at least don't have to worry about that anymore.
Let us hope we do not become part of a live stream ourselves, lest we be judged.
That's why I asked for our first meeting to be private. If they honor that, that's up to them. And if they don't honor it, then we will know how to move forward with these people.
As long as the concept of private doesn't mean it's some kind of private stream for members only or something like that. I remember some kind of information network in Earth's history. I remember that from the Academy, called the Interhighway Web or something. And they had all kinds of members-only access areas that you could view, again, private.
That sounds fanatical. So some sort of only fanatical streaming service.
Well, you've been to Earth. You know what they're like.
Yes.
Weirdly, the only archive records I could find were of feet. I don't know if that's relevant.
That does explain some of the things that happened in the Academy.
I mean, it was very helpful in terms of my. It was very helpful in terms of my my orthopedic exams. I will say that much. But my chiropody courses came along quite well after that, in fact, because I was able to see all manner of. It's not important. The point is, um, I can't even
I
remember
see,
what the
Doctor,
point
for
was.
scientific research.
Very much so, yes.
Hmm. Well, let's get to it then. We're almost there.
I
Oh,
almost
look, we're
spent
here.
three threat to just spawn moopsies on each of you. I was this close. I was this close.
I try to push them forward, you're like, don't whoopsie me.
No, you're good. No, only fanaticals. Well done. Well done there. All right. Well, we'll say that you arrive at the Izion moon, and it looks like a, standard blue, green, brown, vibrant sort of living world. And the orbital tethers are pretty much what you expect. The literal tether, that is the also space elevator, that goes up to a station that is pretty much just a diamond. I forget what it's called. It's like it's not a diamond prism, but it's a 3D diamond is what I'm getting at. And you are able to dock with the station. They of course, coordinate, where you need to be, that sort of thing. But what matters is that on the other side of the airlock, waiting for you, are 3 Izion. And I'll wait for Tekkno to put his ears back in. No, he has his ears still in.
Oh, I'm here. I'm here.
Okay, got it.
I heard
So
all of that. All good.
the Izion that is in front is, of course, Alquak herself. And as a reminder, the Izion are the big buff purple, two-hearted, multiple arms, scales, demonic-like Dami mommies, whatever you want to think of them. She's in a very standard sort of white robe, nothing revealing, just sort of just a white standard robe. Behind her is a male, at least he looks male presenting, and then there's a female to her right. And as you come into the airlock onto the gangplank, not the gangplank, the gantryway, Alquak does a elaborate hand gesture where her top 2 arms kind of do a flourish and her bottom arms do a reverse of the flourish. So it's almost like windmilling your arms, but in 2 directions at once, if that makes any sense. And when she finishes this gesture, she brings the fingers together on each set of arms in front of her in kind of not a prayer stance, but kind of a steepled finger. And then she bows her head and says, "Well, on behalf of the Confederacy, I welcome you to our world. May I present my secretary," motioning at the male presenting. "This is Sedai. And over here," motioning at the female presenting, "this is Bona, my betrothed." And I will put that in chat so that you have the spelling for that.
So I will return the bow with what looks like a bit like a genuflect, and go, well, I am Commander Shishiro, and this is Dr. Tell and Lieutenant Commander Oberon, my chief engineer. And say, pleasure to meet you and to be invited into your station.
Yes. Now, I know you requested a private meeting, which I am happy to accommodate, but I must warn you that until we get into the briefing room, there are cameras and everything everywhere. So I would suggest all due haste if you truly wish it to remain private.
Let us head there then.
All right. So unless you stop them, they lead you through the gantryway into the station proper. And you do note that there are what appear to be recording devices, like cameras in the corners, little drones that fly by. In fact, by the time you finally arrive at the briefing room door, there's like a little cloud of drones that are flying behind you, trying to get like different angles of you and all that sorts of things. But the good news is that when you come into the briefing room and the doors are shut behind you, you don't see any recording devices. No cameras, no drones, nothing. Not even a microphone in here. And the briefing room itself is designed like an Izion would be. And what I mean is the Izion are large. They are very large compared to you. I think I said last time, their smallest is 2 meters. So this looks like it could accommodate somebody up to 3 meters tall. So big doors, big seats, big table.
Finally.
Now, the
Enough
table
room to
itself,
move
if it
around.
matters to you, is a rich, dark wood with red sort of streaks that run through it. Not quite tiger striping, almost like a vein, if you will, if you did like a blood vessel plot across the wood. So it does appear to have some finery inlaid into it. But Alquak, motions for you all to sit wherever you like. And she herself does not take the front or the head of the table. She sits across from Soshiro, wherever Soshiro sits.
I'll sit, so if you imagine it going lengthwise, the middle of the length. So
Okay.
we're sitting in the middle of the table. I assume with then the two people on either side sitting either side of us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that works.
And I will look at her to see if she's gonna sit first, if I'm gonna sit first, see if there's like some etiquette about this, or she just like waves to mention for me to sit down.
I think she'll wave her one of her hands and says, "Please, please sit, sit. It would be rude for me to sit before you."
Thank you. Uh, And I shall take a seat.
And once you're seated, I think everybody follows suit. Though I think Oberon probably stays standing? Question mark.
Yeah.
Yeah. And once everybody is seated, Alquak does reach for a pitcher of clear liquid that is just sort of seated on a tray and says, "Well, I am not sure if you consume liquid, but we have something called dihydrogen monoxide. It is very good for you. Keeps you very good in the vocal range. Keeps your throat from drying out."
If you don't mind my doctor scanning it, just in case it's biologically compatible for us.
Of course, yes,
Uh,
please.
Absolutely. I mean, we similarly need to ingest quantities of dihydrogen monoxide. I mean, we just refer to it by a moniker of water.
Oh,
But allow me to just, and she just takes out the scanner and just checks for, mineral content and the random pathogens that might be there or something, just from it being alien water, effectively.
Again, you're at 6 momentum. All a complication do is give me threat. I'm going to give it to you free. This water is actually surprisingly nutritious. I mean, it is just water, but it's also got like boosted B12 in it. It's got antioxidants in it. It's even got a little bit of
it's
flavoring in it. Some kind of
those
raspberry
electrolytes.
flavoring.
This is very interesting. Is this artificially enhanced water, or is this just how it naturally developed on your world?
Well, we were adding the flavoring. I mean, I personally think the flavoring, and she says a word that translates to raspberry, but it is a different fruit for the Izian. I just wanted to make that a point. But she says, yes, the raspberry flavoring I added because I think it is the best flavor in the world. But no, I mean, the vitamins, the antioxidants, the whole good thing for you is all naturally occurring on our world.
How absolutely fascinating. I would love to examine some of your natural springs at some point.
Well, I'd be happy to show you, but first, we need to decide what to be doing about you and my people, because, well, I'm sure you saw the drones outside that were hounding us. They're going to want answers very quickly.
I presume we're going to be, well, I believe the Earth term would be on the 11 o'clock news. But yes, it's as I mentioned on our communicator earlier, the ion storm that passed past your planet has made us unexpected neighbors of yours. Our station was ripped from our sector from the Alpha Quadrant of the Milky Way galaxy. Um, this is the Segway galaxy. I could pull you up astronomical maps. However, we have been deposited into your system and kind of stranded here.
And, she puts a hand to her chin and goes, well, that certainly sounds like you've been on a journey. I mean, not to draw what might be a pale comparison, but I can think of several plays that I have acted in myself that were about long journeys away from home and the inability to return to whence you came. So I think, even though I may have acted the part, I would like to think I understand where you're coming from.
Well, I think multiple cultures have different stories which revolve around being stranded away from home. But yes, our arrival here was unexpected and unplanned. However, as long as you wish to accommodate, we would be gracious neighbors as possible as we can be.
Well, that is what is becoming tricky, because, well, I'm sure you've scanned our planet already. In fact, I'd be insulted if you didn't. And she kind of laughs at her own joke. As you probably have figured out, the Grakons, which I've mentioned before, they are responsible for our current fusion reactors. Before we were on fission, and we were stuck in how to get fusion to work properly. But we swapped from fission to fusion, and now we have an abundance of energy. In fact, we make a surplus of energy. That's if half our fusion reactors go offline, we have battery backup for an entire month for an entire planet.
Fascinating.
Has that ever happened?
It has happened once, yes. We had well, now that you mention it, the ion storm that passed through, we did experience an EMP effect, which knocked some of our grids offline.
Ah, you are not correctly shielded then.
No, unfortunately, as far as my understanding is, again, I am an actor, not or actress, not a scientist. But my understanding is that the atmosphere of our moon is not as robust as, say, a full planet, as it were.
You have
Or
data to compare the two?
Well, I mean, we are in orbit of that one, and if she could point out a window, she'd point at the actual planet that the moon is
Hmm.
orbiting. But you would get the gesture that she's referencing the fact that the ice planet that the moon is around, they at least have scans of that.
Okay. But yes, you were getting to a point of us being neighbors, I believe.
Yes, yes, my apologies. I'm not going to ask you to give us your finest artistic works. I'm not going to demand that you treat with us or you interact with us, but we are a very gregarious people. We like helping, we like being able to share culture because, well, perhaps it would be better coming from Sadai. Sadai, would you mind stepping in? And Sadai kind of adjusts his tunic a little bit and says, yes, I would be happy to explain. Well, as you may or may not be able to tell just by the way I'm speaking, Alquak and I are from different regions of the planet. She has an accent, I don't, at least as far as I'm hoping the universal translator is working. Well, we didn't used to be a united front. In fact, we were a very, what would be the appropriate expression? A fly in the lotion? No, that's not the right one. And your universal translator goes through several idioms that are nowhere close, and eventually Sadai lands on, no. It is like a glass pitcher that has been dropped, and the shattered remnants were what we were. We were jagged. We were otherwise unable to come together to form a cohesive, water carrying vessel. And it was like that for a while until our ancestors began to realize that we needed to share our culture rather than fight to suppress it. And it was a long process. I mean, it took us, I think, 4,000 years to get to this point, at least as far as our history is concerned. But over the past 4,000 years, we've united the world. We established the compulsory voting, which unites our people. And we established the governing system, which you are now aware of.
So, as much as our collective organization, the Federation of Planets, does do enjoy sharing culture and um, other developments with allied and member worlds, we do have a divining policy that affects our entire organization and Starfleet, which is our exploratory branch of our civilization. Is the Prime Directive is the mandate of not affecting another civilization's culture, technological development. As an example, the Greco give you fusion reactors, yes. Our guiding principles would dictate we don't do that because our four founding members have had interactions with other species where they had gave them advanced technology beyond their means and has ended poorly. So, normally, I would give you a copy of the Jewel of the Depths, which is an Orion play. However, from what I understand, the person with the highest cultural clout is the leader of your planet. If I was to give you the entirety of our cultural database, how much would this affect your species and cultural development?
And Alquak thinks for a moment and says, well, I will not deny that you would become very popular very quickly. There would probably be votes about not acquiring, not the right word. There would be votes on whether to petition you to send representative to act as part of our government, but sounds like we don't want to go that route. Let me be thinking. I am believing that if you were to give me one play, one book, one piece of art, whatever it is, I can introduce that to my people in a way that will not upset society.
We did have a concept of an idea, though we would not know if it would work in practice, that any part of cultural work would have to be shared with the entirety of your species. So, not to give any individual member a leg up on uh, political maneuvering when it comes to the way your government is styled, from what I understand it, from the brief exposure I've had to it.
This time, Bona, again, Alquak's betrothed, she steps, kind of leans forward and goes, "Well, aren't you just the sweetest thing? Don't y'all worry about my people's in. You must apologize. I trip over my words sometimes. I would not worry about my people's predilection to catapult yourselves into government. I think that you would be in good hands given whatever it is to Alquak. But of course, if y'all wish to broadcast it to the planet yourselves, y'all can certainly do so. Just be aware you might get a lot of hails back."
I see. Again, this is the sort of why I wanted a private meeting. I didn't necessarily want to hide the fact that our station and ourselves are not are in your sector of space. It's more of a case of, from what we understand by from your political structure, that we could wildly affect it just by entering your planet in the wrong fashion.
And Alquak nods and says, "Well, at this point, I would simply say, if you did give my people, in whatever method, a bit of your culture, we would be happy to provide our own. And you said that you were affected by the ion storm. Is your
Yes.
vessel, your station, do you need assistance on anything?"
Our station has had substantial damage from the Iron Storm. Our ship is unable to use our fast and light drive due to damage as well. So we are quite stuck within your system. We were planning initially to trade for parts like one of your fusion reactors, which would help our station's construction and possibly process metals, which help us get the superstructure of our station back in order. But of course, we would not simply demand any of these things. We would, at all possible, trade what we can from you.
And they think for a moment, and the three Izion kind of look at one another, and then they nod in unison and say, "How about this? A modest proposal. You give us the one piece of art, I will give you one fusion reactor."
I think that's a good deal to begin with. What sort of art would you be interested in?
We'll take any form of art, written, visual, performance, whatever you think is good.
Would you like me allow me to just converse my two officers for a moment?
Well, please. And they do the polite thing where they turn their chairs around and just sort of converse amongst themselves while you do the same.
So, I want your opinion on two ideas. We could give them the classic Federation gift of giving them a play from either from human culture or my culture, or we could show them a holo novel.
That would involve technology that we are not
Yes, it
sure they
would.
have.
It would. But we don't necessarily have to make it a whole novel that you could interact with.
Perhaps we are going about this the wrong way. I was thinking from a mathematical and an analytical standpoint that we could run an analysis of their culture index and introduce something germane that would not affect the balance, an area of cultural advancement to which they have already achieved. We could give them the equivalent of crafts as opposed to art.
I don't want to give them something which would belittle their offering, if you understand my mean, Lieutenant Commander. If we were to give them something which is subpar in any way, shape, or form, that would seem disingenuous.
Well, I mean, that's the wonderful thing about art, isn't it? That it's subjective.
Mm.
What you might find a belittling gift by virtue of it being some sort of popular media, they might find utterly entrancing and incredibly unique. There's really no way of accounting for taste, sir.
Perhaps something in the medium of velvet and glitter.
I am not going to glitter bomb the first people we meet in Seg 1, Lieutenant Commander. So I just imagine.
I find glitter compelling. Although I do not like it when it gets in the fuel manifolds.
Mm.
That is a no.
I don't want to know why you have glitter anywhere near the fuel manifolds. I'm sure
Obviously,
it's not
you do
germane
not
to
have
this
children.
conversation. No, I mean, that depends on how you look at it. I either have none or I have several.
I just had an idea, and she's just
Had
going to get a
several.
data pad, and I'm going to
Oh, that's
look up
depressing.
historical plays and movies of the founding of the Federation,
Mm-hmm.
because they have just gone through a cultural unification, but with their own species rather than a collective group. And that is, a idea that they already have, so it's not going to affect the cultural ethos too much, but is also going to show that we have similar values.
All right. Well, it's a good thing you have 6 momentum because this is going to be probably a moment of divergence depending on how this rolls goes. I am going to tell you this is a difficulty of 5. This is an insight command. You may have an assist from Oberon or Tell, but not both unless you give me a threat or momentum. As I said, the difficulty is 5 here. And if you have any focuses relating to cultural studies, anything related to Federation history, anything like that would qualify as a focus here.
I do have team dynamics, and we are working in a team.
Yeah, this is true.
So does that count?
Maybe. What do you got, Arwyn? You look like you have something.
No, I was just laughing at myself because I have the, probably on the spectrum engineer, and I still decided to look at my focuses. They're all engineering and related. So I'm just laughing at myself.
Yeah.
How about you, Dr. Tell?
Well, I mean, Kiani has nothing that would work in terms of either a talent or a focus. However, Mina, one of her former hosts, was a archaeologist, a cultural archaeologist. So there could be some help that could be offered there.
So I would like to spend 1 momentum to have both characters assist me in this role, since I feel like that's appropriate in this context. So I'll just mark down the momentum. Okay.
And then what I would say is, Oberon, you can assist with an insight engineering. Tekkno, I'll let you be the arbiter whether Tell assists with insight science or insight medicine.
I would like to.
I mean, medicine's better, but I can't.
Justify
I don't
it.
see. I can't really justify that. And I mean, what are we offering them? We're offering them the equivalent.
Well, you're just
of
trying to
basically
figure
a box
out
set of Enterprise. It sounds like.
Yeah, you're trying to give them. I have a joke, but you're trying to give them Enterprise. Yes.
Yeah, I was not trying to give them the last episode of Enterprise. I was just thinking, because that's like movie footage. I'm thinking you put more like, put Jonathan Archer in a good light rather than a bad light, But
Well, then we better not give them Enterprise then.
Excellent idea. Bore them with history.
Okay, I am going to use the focus. Order is shaping chaos to make sure that this meeting doesn't just turn into chaos. So
Value, you mean?
yeah, value.
Okay.
Yes.
So you'll start with 2 free successes? Question mark.
Yes.
Okay.
That's the plan anyway. Let me just mark that as thing. Spend one momentum so both characters can help me. Unless Team Dynamics or Uniform Code of Justice can help me in this situation, I doubt both
The
of them
Uniform
will.
Code of Justice actually will.
Okay, cool. Because I'm trying to make sure I don't break the Prime Directive. Is that it, Elich? Yay, let's go. I'm going to then give you one threat and spend 5 momentum
Okay.
to roll. Oh, no, sorry, I don't. Yeah, no, because this
No,
is
you
how
had it
second
right. You
edition
had it
works.
right.
Yeah. So spend 5 momentum, 1 threat, so I get a reroll. I have determination, rolling 5 dice. Holy crap!
Holy shit. Okay, hold on. I just want to take a moment here. So, not only was that 9 successes, that was 3 ones.
Ones. Yeah.
I just want to clarify something here. 2 ones is a 1 in 400 chance. 3 ones is a 1 in
And never tell me the odds.
80,000.
I need to play Across the Unknown every single time I go to one of these streams. I need a run to die, the sacrificial altar at RNG, so I can roll well in this play game.
Well,
oh my gosh.
that might be the best roll I've ever seen in my 8 years of GMing this system. So well done there.
But
But we're not done. We
Can
still
the
have to get
twist-
Oberon's and Tell's assist.
Can we top it off? And we add more?
Do you
No, I
want me
didn't-
to? Because I mean, here's another thing. Because I've got the joining confusion still, and the fact that I'm pulling on memories from another host will obviously hit the complication range. So if I'm going to roll, it's going to add a complication. Well, it could add a complication.
Yeah. Well, Tekkno, I want you to be a part of this roll. Roll with your dice.
All right. ELH, can you remind me what joining confusion does to the complication range? Is it just
It
up by 1 now?
increases the complication range by 1 for every point of the trait. So right now you're
Okay,
at
so-
19 out of 20.
So I just have to up this to 2.
Mm-hmm.
Hello? Would, but there we go. Let's just see what happens then. No,
Okay,
okay.
that's 10 total successes.
Mm-hmm.
I already rolled. I rolled Bupkis.
Did I miss it?
Yeah,
Oh, it must
you
have
did.
been whispered to the GM.
No, even on my
Yeah.
GM side, I don't see it.
Have you got it on private roll?
I do have it on private roll. It was a 12.
Okay,
I mean,
I'll
it
take
was a
your
0
word for it.
success,
You're
so-
good. So that is
Yeah.
11 successes by the sounds of it.
Sounds
I
like
wanted
it,
to
yeah.
Okay.
So that gives us 6 momentum.
6 momentum back. You literally spent your pool of momentum to get it right back.
I would like to buy a trait, please.
Okay. Well, let me tell you what you got before you buy the trait, because it
Okay.
could affect things.
Oh god,
Yeah.
it's Wheel of Fortune.
So, 3 cultural items occur to you. 1 is you can't give them spaceships, you can't give them Warp 5 technology, you can't do that. But what you could give them is a painting of the fleet that was around founding day of the Federation. So, like a painting of like the NX-01, a painting that also has an Endorian
Vulcan,
cruiser
yeah.
and a Vulcan science ship and things like that. So that's one option. Option 2 is you give them a book, and the book is literally called A Long Road. And it is what you think. It is literally the end of Enterprise if it was actually done properly, kind of a thing. That's option 2. Option 3 is you give them a little holo display. And this little holo display would be very similar to the ones that the Doctor gave out of him singing opera in that one episode of Voyager. And this holo display would show basically a star chart of the Federation. Wouldn't have like, oh, this star is this. It would just kind of be like a zoomed out, almost like oh, I know. Has anybody seen the Milky Way Lego set before? Have you all seen that before?
No, but I'm looking it up now.
I was gonna say, look it up real quick, because it's kind of what I'm going for. And it's literally sitting in a box in my other room. They did a Milky Way, and it's very zoomed out. It's very colorful. It's a very nice art piece.
That's pretty.
But that would be what you would give them in holographic form. So it is an art piece, and it does show where the Federation is, but it doesn't say, "Hey, this star is Earth." If you see what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It looks like a light bright.
It does, and actually, there are mods to add little lights into the galaxy itself. So
this is more like just a sort of Milky Way kind of.
I mean, if they have powerful enough telescopes, they're going to be able to have seen the Milky Way anyway.
Yes, but they won't necessarily have like dividing lines showing where different quadrants are as far as we understand them, or like major astrological points of interest or something like that. I don't know.
The options. I think that one's the less cultural termination, because it's just showing this is where we are. Like, it's not giving them any more information than that. The painting being second, and I think the book. Because the book is, even though it's just a story of things, it's going to have references to like transporters, it's going to have references, even though it's like NX1 era, it's going to be one stage ahead of them. So I think the book is definitely a very good telling of like our culture and our values, but it's whether if we want to give it to that to them.
I think we should give them the Lego set. It would be good to have them build the. It is a good firm foundation in engineering and following directions.
We can give them a Lego set on top of the hologram if you want to.
We should give them this Milky Way in this plastic building block set. I think it is a wonderful tool for them. It is a great way for them to understand us. We are strong engineers and emphasize the importance of building things.
Again, we want to minimize cultural impact.
Why is everyone laughing at me?
No, I'm laughing out of character. No, I love this idea. Like, as much as I'm laughing, I love this idea.
Have I said something funny?
Not funny, just interesting.
Yes. Interesting. It is important to inspire their interests in building things.
We don't want to affect their culture too much, Oberon.
Yes, and if there's one thing I know, it's that small plastic building bricks have had an unanticipated cultural impact on many societies.
Yes. Yes, I have seen the weaker species step on them with their bare feet and have an emotive reaction.
There's also that is another problem with small plastic bricks.
Well, it was to a point. Let's not get into this. It's not important.
Yes.
The point is, I feel like we should maybe stick with the holo image rather than the other elements for now. But I think that's a good one to keep in our back pocket, so to speak.
Okay, so I would like.
We do not have back pockets.
No, my uniform doesn't have back pockets either. It's an idiom. It just means we should keep that in reserve.
My noble clothing, when I was an Orion first officer, had pockets on them. Why doesn't Starfleet uniforms have pockets on them?
I have pockets.
Well, you have a tool belt.
It is like a pocket.
It's like a pocket, yes.
It has pockets on the belt for tools. The most important kind of pocket.
ELH, save me!
No,
want to spend
no,
momentum.
not saving you.
I want to create the advantage, the trait, great. I'm trying to word this. A great gift, which is in culture commentating, you know, or maybe good first steps. I think that would be a better trait.
Just trying to
I
figure out
like
how to
that.
phrase it. Let's call it significant first step. And we'll say it's with the Ision. Okay,
So
we now
yeah,
have another trait in play.
So after discussing with each other, I will pull out the holo projector that Oberon's going to make sure it's got no advanced technology for them to, No?
Uh, oh, okay. I
Yeah.
will check. I will check it over. Yes.
That's
Yes.
why I got engineers and doctors for to check that he's not doing anything wrong.
This is the most basic emitter we have.
Okay, good.
It was an emitter that was used prior to the old scientist era, that was yanked out of their Constitution class vessels.
Cool. And present them the emitter and turn it on for the three eyes on which are with the meeting with us.
Okay. I'll offer you a deal. If you also give them the Lego set, because I love the idea, I'll increase your trait to true potency.
Just to make Oberon happy, I hand them over the Lego set.
It's a trap. It's a trick. We're going to culturally contaminate them.
So are you going to take the deal?
I'm gonna so I put down the emitter and Oberon just shifts forward this box of Legos.
I do.
It's a big
Yes.
box. I don't know if I can do this box justice. Like, the Enterprise D box is already massive, and the Milky Way galaxy box is like half of the Enterprise box. So it's a big box. My cat loves.
Yeah,
sleeping in it.
as you were discussing, I ran back to the ship, hit the replicate, came back again.
He's already replicated and he's using up his rations. I can't tell him no. He would just look sad at me and not fix the station.
Well, the Ision present all stare at the gifts, and I think Bona actually reaches for the Lego set and kind of looks at it with wonder in her eye, and she says, "Well, ain't that something amazing? We actually have a building toy like this ourselves. It's made out of a material not unlike, I guess this is some kind of plastic, but no, we have a. I remember as a child I had a set that was kind of. Beloved, can I go build this set right away? Do y'all need me for anything else?" And
It's a type of biopolymer, I should just throw in, that it is an artificial, yes, but it is degradable. It won't leave just plastic within your environment, shed microplastics, that kind of thing. So it's entirely safe.
"Well, ain't that something?" And Alcock smiles and says, "Well, I think you'll know that if we are going to be building it, we will be building it together. But yes, you can go get set up. We'll build it later." And Bona, despite being big, buff, purple, multiple arms, scaly demon Dami Mommy, looks like a just happy child in this moment, and just kind of bows very respectfully to everybody and says, "I'll be back later. Y'all have fun now." And
Be
Bona
careful
makes
not to
her-
tread on them.
Bona's already gone. It's too late.
Oh, remind her not to tread on them.
How heartwarming. The best relationships are forged when building and designing things together.
Well, it is funny you say that, actually. My predecessor was actually very much of a similar mindset. It's why the fusion reactors were being able to be built so quickly and so modularity? They're very modular.
Ah, it's a shame they are not here instead of you, just an actress. Then we could have had a more productive discussion.
Oberon.
And no, I think she actually laughs at that and says, I see, you are a very pragmatic individual. I respect that."
Very good.
But no, it's very interesting. Because my people nominate the most influential, to be in charge. If you had asked me, 2,000 years ago, would that work for our society? I would have told you no, that was crazy, and that we were fluctuating too much on the day-to-day basis of who was in charge. But we have kind of hit into almost like a decade sort of trade-off, if you will, where about every 5 to 10 years we trade off and we have someone new in charge, but it's somebody that is in tune with the people.
I'm very sorry. This may have been a translation error or me misinterpreting something that you said, but well, what you said was, if you'd have asked me 2,000 years ago, I just wanted to check, what's the general lifespan of your species?
No, we live for a millennia. We are very long-lived.
Interesting. Thank you.
You're quite welcome.
I think they beat you. I think they beat you, Doctor.
I mean, they beat me currently. I mean, Trill symbionts have been known to last for millennia, I would say.
True, but most of the time, you Trill have a longer lifespan than most species do.
Well,
It's
yes,
interesting to
usually.
meet one that has outlasted you.
Indeed, yes. It's odd to be on the other side of the table, as it were.
So, from my
And
understanding,
this is bearing in mind that I'm very new to the concept of having that length of time in my head. So it's been an interesting week all round.
so from what I understand, your people are not only a lot longer lived than most, but you would have been in those wars that your secretary was talking to us about.
My mother was, yes. My mother and father were definitely participants in such.
I see. It would be interesting to look through your entire history. We're not used to species living that long.
Well, as thanks for making my betrothed very happy. Here, I can give you that data right now. And she pulls up her alien equivalent of a pad and hands you the pad wholesale and goes, "That is history of our people. Please enjoy."
Thank you. So, I believe this has been quite an eventful first meeting. I presume you would want a more public meeting to happen for your people to have, especially since we're going to be having one of your actors. I think that's going to stage some questions that you'll have to answer.
Well, as with all things, we will put it to a vote. And what she does is she brushes back a little bit of hair around her horns. And now, for the very first time, you're noticing something about their horns. Is that there appears to be, on the underside of the right horn, there appears to be a discolored spot. So again, they're purple. Well, this spot is more of like a turquoise blue. And she taps this little discolored spot. And what happens is, remember how if you watched a news broadcast, I said everybody stops what they were doing to vote? That's what happens where on one of the pads in the room or on one of the TVs in the room, it shows a live display of, do you all wish to have a public meeting with the aliens? And of course, yes sort of takes off running. But what you notice is that Alquak didn't say anything to set up that vote. All she did was tap that little discolored spot on her horn.
Alcott, you seem to have a cybernetics, I would assume?
Yes, it is something every Izion has once they come of age, of voting age. We install the device and it makes voting very easy. Makes it like breathing. One moment you're breathing in air, next moment you're exhaling progress.
I was wondering if my doctor would be able to have a bioscan of you just to see how the technology works, if with your
I was
consent.
also going to ask for the same thing, because it's not it's a rare occurrence that we meet a cybernetically enhanced race.
Well, yes, of course, but don't look too closely, otherwise Bona will get very mad with me.
We'll have to give them another construction set if that's the case then.
But also, you raise an excellent point. Is there any cultural taboo to this is not an invasive scan. It is largely passive, but there is some active elements. Is that in any way a problem?
I don't believe so, no. I'm just making kind of a lighthearted joke.
Okay, good. But fine. And she just starts with the scanning
You
then.
have to understand, as a organization that explores the stars, we encounter various different species, and they have very different customs and cultures. So that's the sole reason why we are checking.
Well, I will warn you that no matter what happens, since you gave her a set of building blocks, she will probably want to cook for you next. So I cannot help you with that. You're either going to have to tell her no and disappoint her, or you're going to have to
I
eat her cooking.
I will
Is
probably
that
eat the
is that a
cooking if the
threat?
food is able for me to be eaten.
I'm sure I
And
can whip up some kind of neural, not a neural
we
suppressant. That would
haven't
be a
checked if
terrible idea.
their food is actually ingestible for us. That's probably another good step for us to take.
This was what I was going to suggest, and
Okay.
then I could probably set up some kind of neural toxicity blocker, or should it be needed. But I'm certain that Bona's cooking is more than adequate. I'm sure that you will be able to ingest whatever it is that they put in front of you, and good luck with that.
Anyway, your
Just
scan.
like just like look at you and go, bruh. Why are you subtly throwing shade on their cooking?
I am merely picking up the vibe that was put down by Alquoc.
Well, tell if you want to give me a reason and medicine here to do that
Oh, right,
scan
I
of the
have to do things.
device.
Yep.
There is a
Imagine
chat
rolling.
complication on the field. I am going to say that it is an 18 to 20, and including your joining confusion, it is 17 to 20 for you.
So that's free on here.
4.
4. Oof.
No, hold up. 20 is 1, 19 is 2, 18 is 3, 17 is 4. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let me see.
And difficulty. Just a difficulty of 2 on this one.
Okay, so down to 4. I'm going to use a focus of biology / xenobiology,
For sure.
and I would like to buy 1 momentum, please.
Sure.
No, I'd like to buy a dice with 1 momentum, please. And I'm not going to use any of my values as yet. This doesn't seem like I would need it, so I'm just going to hit that button.
Nice.
Rolling hot today. That is 5
take that.
successes, so you get 3 momentum back, once again bringing you to cap. Well done. So it's interesting, and as you look at your medical tricorder, you realize that what Alquoc has said is correct. That this cybernetic device not only links them subconsciously to the information network across their moon, but it also is designed in such a way that the subconscious thought or the subvocal thought is all that is required to send a transmission of the voting. Now, I should clarify, this is not like the Borg where their neural interface makes them a collective. It is nothing like that. It is simply as if, well, let's use a modern device for an example. It's like having your phone on you at all times, and every once in a while you'll get a notification and it's like yes or no, and you click yes or no on your phone. Very simple, very quick, and you go back to whatever you're doing.
It's like Cyberpunk with its like communication cyberware, where you're able to just think about calling someone and your cyberware just does it for you.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
It's incredible. It's like some sort of neural lattice, like that it clearly taps into their subconscious thinking. How remarkable!
Seems quite advanced for. Seems for quite advanced cybernetics for species that hasn't gotten to warp travel yet.
It's an excellent observation. Did you come by this technology yourselves, Alquoc, or was this another gift from another alien visitor?
Well, this one, and Alquoc isn't the one that answers. It's her secretary, Sadai, and Sadai says, well, as far as our history records, is that we encountered a wreckage. So I guess it's technically alien, but there was a wreckage that was uncovered during the war, and the scientists were able to reverse engineer it, and that is what led to the device. So if you count reverse engineering what something was clearly alien as foreign, then yes.
The wreckage wasn't recorded as being some sort of geometric shape, was it?
No, it was some kind of
Oh
trying to remember
god, oh
anything
god,
from
oh god, oh
moment.
god, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god.
No, it was some form of oblong sort of tubule with more tubules on the outside. Kind of looked like a raspberry.
There again, that translation of a fruit that I feel like is different for us than it is for you. Interesting. Okay. And I think gives Shahiro a very sort of like significant sort of like, okay, yeah, this is fine kind of look.
We've
How many votes have you cast in this during the course of this conversation?
16.
And
Fascinating.
does it just pull it from your subconscious, or do you have to actively participate in the vote?
Well, I mean, as Alquak has said, it is very easy. You just get you get a notification, you say yes or no, and then you move on. Takes
But you
less
have
than
to
a second.
consciously think yes or no, or like I think perhaps what we're getting at is there a well, two questions actually spring to mind. One is, do you have the option to rescind or change your vote? Because I certainly for some of our species, I don't know how it is for you, but certainly for us or many of us, there are subconscious impulses that might, after further critical thought, be different to what you having the time
Yeah.
to mull through it is important, is what I'm getting at. Is it an instant impulse kind of reaction, or are you allowed the time to think of it properly and actually respond consciously?
So
Is there a
that,
height meter timer?
ooh, there you go. What I'm going to say is, Tekkno, if you actually give me a momentum, I will say that you realize the answer to that from your brain scan of her.
Well, I'll do you one better because well, maybe I will. I've got diagnostic expertise, which I believe lets me ask one question.
Put it in chat so I can read it.
Yeah. How do I do that? There we go.
Click the Starfleet signal next to it. Oh, and then I got to
Yeah.
expand the description. One moment. All right, what do we got? Whenever you succeed, which you did, you may ask one question for every additional D20. So you can ask me, you can ask me one question for free.
I'll take that one
Cool
then.
one.
Okay. So as you're saying that, Tell, you realize something in the scan, and you look back at your tricorder. They don't have 2 lobes of brains. They have 6 lobes of their brain. And they have the processing power of their brain is equivalent to like a bioneural gel pack, which is huge because, at least as far as I'm understanding of Trek technology, like a bioneural gel pack is humongous processing power, even just one. And I think it's duotronic computers, which started to get
Yeah.
past the human brain. But all this to say, these are incredibly intelligent, very incredible people that maybe, you think, oh, it takes you less than a second to decide. For them, it's like probably they have time to mull it over, is what I'm getting at here. Like their brains are so in sync and talking to the different lobes that they just know almost instantly.
Well, in that case, I'll just be continuing to take my scans, going, huh. Um, on second thoughts, I think I rescind my question because how absolutely fascinating. Your brain chemistry is incredibly different to anything that we've observed in our galaxy. I believe you would probably think us quite slow by comparison if you saw our thought processes. Absolutely remarkable. Commander, they have 6 lobes of their brains, which they
Don't tell the Ferengi.
different type of lobes, sir. But The for want of a better term, the processing power that their brains would have is an order of magnitude above our own. So this whole my entire question was based on a faulty premise. The conversations, for want of a better term, that they're having subconsciously probably flicker at, near warp speeds compared to our, chemical rocket brains.
Though that does remind me of another thing that we would have to discuss about. Um, they are, well, stationed in our station was three other factions which have spaceships as well. I would probably need to be, would be amiss not to at least describe to you and then ask if you wish to meet them as well.
And I think Alquak thinks for a moment and says, well, according to that vote, and she points at the screen where yes has come into the lead, 80% to 20%, more or less. I think whoever you want to bring or whoever you want to expose to us for this public thing, I'm okay with it.
I
Oh,
think
wait,
we
Alquak's Russian, so imagine that in Russian.
Well, Alcock, I believe we would want to keep the first meeting with us, with the Federation, but we do have three other groups which may be interested in meeting you. If you want to have them be not knowing who you're going to meet, or if you want us to tell you what they are like beforehand.
Well, you seem
They
to be
are
the one in charge of your station and the people attached to it, so again, I say whatever you feel is appropriate.
very well. Um, so I will just bring up. So we have three other factions which may visit your station, your planet. Sorry, moon. Words hard. Thinking not easy. I don't have six lobes. Um, the Klingons, which are allies, they are from a warrior caste a society which take war as one of their most primary virtues. We'll give like a picture of a Klingon warrior. And then we have the Ferengi Alliance, which is a mercantile group, which their entire species, just to put this into perspective, they bought their fast and life drive from another species. Their entire society is built on the acquisition of material gains. And then people from the Aryan Alliance, which my species is from. However, I'm a member of the Starfleet and Federation, and for the most part, we're a matriarchal, noble house society.
Well, matriarchal society is always appreciated. We're matriarchal ourselves, so that would be
Oh, how
very much
lovely.
appreciated.
I just have a smug little grin after knowing that these people are definitely cultural superior than most other people around the galaxy.
Well, unless there's anything else, if it is okay with you, I would like to send Sedai back with you. You don't have to let him see your station, you don't have to let him off your ship, but it would probably be easier to facilitate communication. Sedai knows how to get a hold of me, and Sedai knows how to, wheel and deal, as it were. But if you do not wish to take him, I will not force him on you.
I think that's an excellent idea.
I
Ken
would note
Sedai.
that I would note that our ships might be quite cramped for Sidai. Just as a general note, most species don't top sort of our height. Oberon here is something of an exception.
Yes, but it is cramped. But you seem a resilient sort. I believe
I'm merely
you'll be
pointing
okay.
out the issue,
Yes.
not giving an opinion.
Yes. More
I don't
importantly,
mind, I don't have claustrophobia. I don't mind cramped spaces. Shouldn't be an issue.
yes, they will be well. More importantly, Sadai, will you be able to help us facilitate getting the fusion drive that we have traded for?
Well, yes. In fact, while we've been talking, I've had the first modular fusion core moved to the elevator. However, there's a problem.
And what
Oh.
would that be?
And he motions at the TV screen, which goes away from the vote, to show a image of the orbital tether. And it looks like that there is indeed a modular box, and box is probably not the right word, but there's a modular container with a fusion reactor in it, but it's stuck halfway up the tether. It's not moving. And he simply points at the screen and says, unfortunately, something's gone wrong with the orbital tether's mechanisms. We're not able to get it to move up or down. And unfortunately, it's at that position where we're not exactly sure if the brakes will kick in if we were to disengage the line. So we're in a little bit of a tricky situation at the moment where we don't know why it has stopped, but we also don't want it to go back down because it could come crashing back down and cause damage to the surroundings.
Oberon, do you think we could catch the fusion reactor with our tractor beam?
Oh, I was thinking we could first look at the mechanical nature of the problem and see if the tractor beam would be even necessary. I may be able to conduct an override.
Well, I trust your engineering expertise.
And can you do that kind of assessment from here and make any corrections that need making?
I will need access to their primary systems display and engineering schematics.
Sadai hands you a pad. And Oberon.
Yes.
Definitely not as important as past rolls, but still kind of important.
Oh, did you have to set it up like that?
Oh, of course I did, because it's funny every time.
Okay.
This is going to be a reason engineering. This will be a difficulty of 3. And we'll just leave it at that. And yes, you have a focus. You have so many focuses.
Okay, reason engineering. Okay, that's not going to help. And you said a difficulty of 3.
Correct.
Right, I'm just looking at... okay. Yeah, all right. So let's go ahead and buy a momentum to get... I'm going to buy... How many momentum do we have? I'm sorry.
You have
my
full
screen
momentum at the moment.
Oh, yeah, let's... I would like to... I'd like to use 2 momentum to get 4 die total.
That's right, because you have something that gives you your 3rd die automatically.
No, I'm looking at... See, I made my handy-dandy chart because I always get confused. And if you spend 2, you get 2 d20 to start with. And then if you spend 1 momentum... Oh, it's 3 momentum total. Sorry. So I will spend 3 momentum total to get 4 die.
Okay, yeah, go for it.
Since you intimated that this might be important. Okay, let's go ahead and perform this task.
Can I also assist?
If you tell me how.
Yeah, so as a joined, I can sort of declare, you know what, I'm not going to worry about it.
Well, that is 5 total successes, so you get 2 momentum right back. So I have good news and I have bad news. Which would you like first?
The bad news, always.
The bad news is that this isn't something you'll be able to fix with a tractor beam or a transporter. No, you're going to have to manually spacewalk out there and fix it.
Oh, okay.
I think Oberon prefers that. Sort of relaxing for them.
Mm-hmm. So maybe that actually is the good news. Who knows?
So what's the better news?
I guess the better news is that you are far enough up the orbital tether that if you were to take a shuttle or if you were to transport an EV suit out there, probably wouldn't be caught by a camera.
Okay, let me get geared up and I will, with your permission, Commander, I will get out there and conduct repairs.
Do you want me to fly the shuttle over?
I would welcome any assistance you are willing to provide.
Well, I mean, it sounds better to take a shuttle than to dive from the orbital platform down to the location of the problem.
You know,
perhaps it is more efficient, but not better.
Lieutenant Commander Oberon's performance, I would not put it past him.
No, but I don't want to give him ideas. So
you just did, though.
I took an idea off the table.
I'm just picturing that Lower Decks episode with the with the hedonistic planet where they were doing on the orbital lift where they were like doing the diving. That just looked fun.
Well, I have enough threat here that I'm going to spend not full of it, but I am going to spend 2 of it to say that as you leave the meeting room and you begin to filter back to your ship, you are confronted with another swarm of drones, of camera drones. They don't get in your way, but it's like every paparazzi ever. They want sound bites, they want visuals, and overall, they are doing their damnedest to get a look at you, to get a feel of who you are as people. Do you walk in silence? Do you wave? Do you smile? How do you handle the drones?
I smile and wave and compose myself in a professional but very pleasant manner.
Okay. Oberon?
So dignified, noble sort of, thing.
Okay. Dignified noble for Shashira.
I swat at them.
You swat at them?
Because they're in my way.
Okay. And then Tell, what about you?
Like mosquitoes.
Yeah, like mosquitoes. I love it.
I think Tell is just very withdrawn and kind of hunched in a little bit, sort of not wanting to sort of draw attention as walking as quickly as possible from point A to point B.
Okay.
Can I draw the attention of the other two because they seem to not like the attention?
I'm going to say that 2 threat that chat just gave me is going to create a complication that, no, in fact, there's now more drones trying to get shots of Oberon and more shots trying to get of Tell.
This is going to be a very interesting planet to visit.
That's certainly one way of looking
keep those
at it.
drones above my haunches.
I mean, that's a fair statement. Not going to argue that.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Of all the sentences I expected Arwyn to say today, that was not one of them.
And that's a pretty broad thing. I mean, to be fair.
It is.
I mean,
well, Oberon, give me a presence command difficulty of 1.
Okay. Would composure help me with that?
Oh, yeah, it would help.
Oh, yes.
Okay. And if I am using, I get to, I can reduce the difficulty of that because I'm using presence.
Mm-hmm.
Because of my species ability. So it's a difficulty of 1.
Yep.
So that's just a difficulty of 0 then, right?
Yep. Don't roll 20, which you will now.
Oh goodness. Okay.
No, I lied. You get 1 momentum. You're back at cap. And yeah, sure enough, you tell the drones to back off, they back off.
It's all about consent, my friends.
I mean, it is the golden rule.
Mm-hmm. But yes,
Now,
eventually...
I am trying to save your tether. Please leave me to it.
Oh, well, if you say that, the drones maybe look at each other and then make a corridor for you to move through very quickly.
Yes. Vote on that. Vote on efficiency. Yes.
All right, so just so I know, the plan is to take a shuttle down and then spacewalk out to the tether. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Do we have time?
Oh, yeah, you've got time. It's stuck at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I kind of want to paint the scene here because I think it's funny. Oberon, you have to use your special EV suit, which is always just a fun mental image for me because it's like a centaur. So you have to step in the back legs and then the front legs, or maybe the front legs and then the back legs. I don't know how you do it.
I mean, we gotta have like a transformation sequence between normal Oberon and EV suit Oberon, and we spent like half the budget on it. So we have to use it every episode to justify the budget expense.
Who decorated this for a Lunar New Year dragon?
Who bought the battle pass?
Who did that?
Also, side note, Tekkno, there's your rendering thing for the next week is Oberon's suit up sequence.
Sailor Moon style.
Sailor Moon style.
Yeah, I mean, I was, when you said there was like a sequence like this, my mind immediately went to like magical girl transformation. So, Yeah. Hmm.
I mean, we can do that with a transporter array.
I mean, I'm not doing it, but
Just pink, pink Federation sparkles just appears around Oberon and then put it on.
Yay, pink!
Yay, pink,
Love
indeed.
pink.
All right. Well, we have the obligatory 30-second suit up sequence that costs half the budget. We see the Type 7 shuttle leave the back of the Versailles, and you fly down to where the orbital tether is currently stuck. And now comes the hard part. Oberon, remind me, you have EVA experience, correct?
I do.
All right. So, since you have prior experience, this is just a difficulty of 1 to float out there to the tether itself. So this is to get from the shuttle to the tether. Just a difficulty of 1, and it is a control and a con.
Okay. Control con. Okay. And excuse me just a second here. I want to make sure that I post this all in due time. So I want to make sure I'm using it properly.
Let me check.
The character may reduce the difficulty of a task if they attempt using presence or control by 1.
So it would be a difficulty of 0.
Okay.
That ability's so powerful.
So technically, just don't roll 20s. Nope. All right, so you have 1 floating momentum, which if you don't use it now, it'll just kind of vanish. But yeah, Oberon, you float over to the tether, no problem.
How can I use that? I'm trying to remember all the different things I can do.
Ask a question and make a trait, which is then 2 points.
Yeah, trait is 2 points. 1 momentum is 1 question.
Yeah, let me make a trait.
Okay.
Unusual stability. Unusual EVA stability.
Oberon EVA. I can spell Oberon properly.
I mean, we could just spend enough points to make your EVA suit a permanent piece of equipment.
We probably could at this point. All right, I've added another trait. We now have Oberon EVA stability, and that's actually going to decrease the difficulty, at least for the foreseeable future. As I said, you kind of push off from the ramp of the shuttle. There's that moment when you are truly in free fall, nothing around you. There's just, several hundred meters between you and the tether. It's actually a very picturesque kind of thing where, even here on Earth, we generally don't get more than if I remember correctly, 30 meters from the ISS, because anything past that, it's like, what the hell are you doing? So during that time, Oberon, I'm just curious, are you just being calm and collected and focused? Are you taking in the beauty of the moon below you? What's going on as you're waiting to transition that space?
Oh, yeah, it's just I'm just enjoying it. I might hear the, Dawn of Man from 2001 in my head.
I will always appreciate
Horse
Space
in
Odyssey reference.
space. No. Instead of pigs in space. Yeah, I'm really enjoying the calm. I mean, there's not a lot of chatter about, feelings and diplomacy and culture and plays, and I mean, I appreciate that stuff, but I have other stuff I need to worry about right now. Yeah. All right. So, oh gosh, we're waiting on me to roll, aren't we?
No, you already succeeded. I'm just waiting to see if you wanted to add anything else.
Nope, that's it.
Cool. So you get over to the tether, and based on the schematics you were given, based on the roll you made earlier, you know that it is something that you can fix. It's just going to be a little bit difficult to do without disengaging the brakes. Now, the problem is that you have to be quick here. And if you're not quick enough, the fusion reactor will plummet down the tether. So, this is initially a daring and engineering difficulty of 5. However, you have EVA stability, which you just created. I'm going to lower that to a 4.
Would I be able to assist with either the ship's tractor beam just to keep the structure stable?
Yes, but I would increase the complication range.
I would ask if Oberon, do you want me to engage the tractor beam to increase stability?
I'm considering it for a moment. Try to think if there's a better use of the shuttle rather than the tractor beam. Perhaps we could use the shuttle's sensors and computer capacity to aid me in my task.
I will start doing that then. I will start tapping away at the sensor array of the shuttle.
Okay. Just trying to remember shuttle stats here. If you're rolling an assist on the shuttle, it is a 7 or lower.
Can I make a science insight? It's only an 11, but that would be better than the shuttle's ability.
That is true. I would give you an insight engineering, perhaps.
The exact same.
Okay, well, yeah, you can assist with an insight engineering.
Team dynamics?
Sure.
Excellent. Like working as a team? Yes! Let's go.
So, Oberon, daring engineering, I need to see 3 more successes.
Okay. Let us see here. I am just looking over my sheet, and all right, I would like to spend 3 momentum to get 4 die.
Okay.
And we only have 2 left.
Yep.
Oh, okay. What?
You can give a threat.
2 momentum and a threat. Sure, why not?
Okay.
So that's 4 die, and hopefully that will help. And I have a focus.
Oh, did we?
There we go.
Hey, nice. So that is 5 total successes, meaning you get a momentum back. And yeah, what ends up happening is Soshiro, using the shuttle's computer, you highlight the mechanisms of the lift that need to be done in sequence. And Oberon, using this information on the heads-up display of your EVA suit, you very quickly and efficiently are able to disengage gears, re-pattern some different buffers, and overall get the elevator working once more. And as you maybe close up the panel and, give it a nice love tap, little percussive maintenance, you actually push off of the tether just as it begins to shudder back to life, and the fusion reactor starts trudging back up towards the Versailles.
I could institute some enhancements to this while I'm... Nope. It's working just fine. Let us not complicate this further.
I've just put another check on Oberon's report. Is it just ticks of high-end performance for me?
Just give him a gold
Yes.
star. Like, if he gets 6 gold stars, he gets a promotion,
No,
I like
I'm the commander. I have to get the captain first. I'll have Oberon outranking me.
This is Lieutenant Commander Oberon to Commander Soshiro. The repairs have been
reading.
completed successfully. I am ready to return.
I will just turn the shuttle enough so you can get into it effectively.
Very good. Although you would... increasing your vector by 2.4 degrees would allow me more efficient way to enter. And take 10.2 seconds off of this experience.
I have already made the adjustments.
Love
As
it.
soon as you said the degrees, I just went, okay, then tap tap tap. This is how precise you want to be.
All right. So you get back onto the shuttle. The shuttle returns to the Versailles. The Versailles gets the fusion reactor. And the Versailles, I presume, goes back to the station to deliver the fusion reactor?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The reason I'm framing it like that is because as the Versailles leaves the space and becomes no longer visible by anyone on the moon, we do a cut to the interior of what is essentially a streamer room on the station, on the Tether station.
Oh, no.
And we, of course, see Alquak and Bona constructing the Lego set that you gave her. And it's being streamed because, of course, it is.
Yes.
But they're just like, well, Well, this is delightful. Hey, would you mind handing me that purple piece? I think that purple piece goes right here. No. You're right. It's purple, but it's different purple piece. I think it is this one. Oh, y'all are right. Oh, I love you so much, honey. And it's sweet and it's beautiful, and people are donating because people love donating to that sort of thing. But that's where we'll end today's session.
Nice.
We've got like a level 5 hype train going.
Yeah, they got like a level 6 hype train or something. Yeah.
We cut off properly. Would Oberon be able to make a repair roll since we have a reactor?
So that is
To try and
something
fix
that
the
I wanted to
station.
handle. Is Oberon, you have a choice here of a further roll. You don't have to do this further roll, but it is an option. If you use the fusion reactor as is, I will allow you to repair 1 breach of engines. However, if you wish to make the roll, I will give you 1 of your industrial replicators back.
Ooh, what's the
Yes, I
target
want that.
number?
I want that.
So,
I am
Number.
intrigued. Tell me, say more.
all right, the difficulty on the industrial replicator would be a daring or control plus engineering at a difficulty of 4.
Can people assist?
I would say it would have to be a really good assist justification here.
So,
Actually, hold on.
What's
Don't we have
the,
an ensign for this? Literally, isn't it Ensign Zeva that does this?
yeah, Ensign Zava can assist with this.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that'd be better than my idea.
Well, what was your
What
idea?
was your idea?
My idea was drawing on. This is what I was going to do earlier. Was use the trill joined
Oh, yeah, the
function,
joined.
so I could basically give myself a focus in something. But it made more sense then than it does now.
ELH, can I make you a trait?
Mm-hmm.
Shishiro in command. If I was to scratch off that trait so it's no longer in effect, can I reduce the difficulty by 1?
Sure, we can have that happen.
Excellent. Because I really want my replicators.
Okay. So I think overall, Oberon, accounting for everything, you're looking at a difficulty of 2.
Oh, okay.
Because it was 4,
I will
since it's control, you bring it down by 1. We just got rid of that trait, brings it down again, so it's 2.
All right,
Is-
it's 2.
Is Zava still helping?
Unless you want to joined. I mean, that is an option.
No. Well, actually, no. My engineering is 2, so it wouldn't help in the slightest.
I'm spending 2
All right.
thread. It's funnier if Tel assists instead.
No, I'm a doctor, not an engineer.
That's what makes it funny.
And that's what makes it even better. And I'm just
Hang
in the
on.
background going, get on it, officers! I believe in you! Just sipping my tea. My 14 cup of Rakugino.
I don't like this new way of spending Fred, which is to force me to do things. But
I
No, I only do it every once in a while when it's funny.
all right, yeah, okay, that's fine then. So, all right, I'll use my focus with the assist. My complication range is still 3.
Nope, it is just a 19 to 20.
So that would be a 2.
2? Yes.
Yes.
All right.
See?
I'll take
Look at that. That is a crit.
I mean, the chances of that are what though?
Well, I mean, you're rolling underneath a 2, so 1 in 10.
I mean, just our general rolling. Just
Yeah,
look at our
no,
general
yeah.
rolling tonight.
We were due for a complication, and it's probably now going to come from Oberon.
I mean, Oberon won't roll a 20. No.
So I know my station, which
Mhm.
allows me to get an additional die here. So I get 3 die total for this. And I'm just gonna roll, and we'll see what happens. Oh my God.
Jesus. Oh, and it's a repair roll. That means you can fix breaches.
Yeah, you can.
Yes, I
fix
can.
breaches.
You can fix breaches.
All right.
Let's go.
So that was a difficulty of 2, which means you now have 6 momentum for which to spend to fix breaches.
I would like to spend all 6 momentum and fix 4 breaches, please.
All right, delegate that as you wish.
Yee! Okay, writing that down.
Also,
My
no,
chat,
chat.
you can chat with the rest of them while I'm working on this.
Chat, we are not using Threat to make me do videos. That's not how that works.
If we get up to 20 thread, Tekkno has to do a video.
It's no longer, 13 thread is a board cube. 20 thread is Tekkno makes a begrudging video of a magical girl suit up sequence. Oh Lord! All right, well that is where we will end today because I got a dog that needs to go outside. But thank you so much for tuning in. Twitch, stick around because we're gonna raid somebody. But YouTube, we'll see you later. Bye bye, YouTube.